Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How you doing? All right, listen, something was sent to me in an email and it is a screenshot picture or something, okay? And it's something that I'm going to read you, so there's not a link that I can give you, okay? Because I tried searching for it and I can't find it. So it's extremely interesting, okay? And it's here we go. All right, it says we the people, okay? I have to zoom in and zoom out because I am blind. So it says we the people. Section 10 of the first part of the U.S. Constitution in the last paragraph states, no state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with any state or with a foreign power, or engage in war unless actually invaded, or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. All right. And then it goes on to say, yet time and again, our government has seen fit to involve America in numerous different regions that did not request our assistance, and as a result, that region finds themselves in debt to America. And even when the citizens everywhere cry for peace, the brutality and tyranny continues. America was meant to be the land of opportunity in its early years. Then, as a settled republic, we expanded our territories, initially through agreements such as the Louisiana Purchase. Now, think back, like when you were in school, okay? Now, this is me talking. Think back when you were in school, okay? And we had history class and stuff like that. You remember learning about the Louisiana Purchase? Okay, so if we go back in time to the first wars for Americans, one is the Mexican Wars, okay, when we obtained the territories of California, New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona, which was led by President Knox, and that's K-N-O-X, Polk, P-O-L-K. So 13 years later, we have the other Republican president-led war, and it only occurred at the demand of the U.S. citizens after the USS Maine, and that's like spelled like this, the state Maine. The Maine was sunk by Spain. So as a result of the Spanish-American War, we obtained Cuba, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. And 15 years after this occurred, we come upon World War I, which President Wilson was adamant initially that America would stay neutral, while sending means of support to the Allies the entire war period until the Germans withdrew their treaty and continued to take out trade ships. Then America entered the war according to history, right? Same with FDR. And he was the only president to serve longer than 8 years, if you remember that, which I doubt it, because I don't think any of us were alive back then. So, and this happened during World War II. So, funds supporting throughout the war, then Pearl Harbor happens, and America enters the war. During FDR's 12-year-long reign, he added substantially to the government by means of the alphabet soup agencies, and instituted his New Deal, which he reiterated many times was only to be temporary, but in fact, the majority of the regulations are still in effect, if not worse, by amendments added since then. Okay, so in June of 1950, President Truman announced support for South Korea in repelling the invasion by North Korea. And the U.S. was not in any danger, have no territory in the region, but they didn't want the land going to what they deemed to be communist. Same story essentially with Vietnam War. Now, during the 70s, with Nixon's inauguration, had the streets lined with Americans in revolt, demanding U.S. withdrawal from the war efforts. All right. So the war didn't end until Ford took office, President Ford. Again, 15 years later, Bush Sr. declared U.S. involvement in the Gulf Wars, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Followed up by his son, Bush Jr., who declared the global war on terror. So, a pattern over nearly 200 years. It was staring us in the face, okay? It's very hard to ignore here. And I think, oh my Lord, it was a couple of months ago, I think, that someone had stated, what was it, every 80 years? Every 80 years, I think it is, that someone said that there is a huge war. Is it every 80 years? Because wasn't World War II 80 years ago? Something like that. I can't remember who said it or how exactly they said it, but it was something like every 80 years or something like that. We were meant to be a republic, as stated so many times in our Constitution. And this is the same Constitution that is there to protect us, but nobody to enforce it. The government's sole job is to protect the American people and their interests, right? Sending our country trillions of dollars into debt and therefore increasing the suffering felt by the U.S. citizens is never the answer. Regulating farmers and ranchers to the point where we have to fight for simple rights to grow our own food. Saying citizens can't collect rainwater or burn wood to stay warm and survive the winter. Enforcing arm tickets in order to have a daily life. How is it that that's not infringing upon our rights, our God-given rights? What has our great nation come to? When are we going to be given a leader who fights again for we the people? That's the final question. Who is it? Who's going to be that person, man or woman, doesn't matter. Who's going to be that person to actually fight for we the people, stand up for us, and put things back to where they should be? Because with the way things are going now, it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. And I don't know how many are actually going to make it. I really don't. If you have not prepared now, I don't know. I don't have that answer. Is it too late? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think if you get at least 3 to 6 months under your belt, what prep wise, you'll be able to stretch it out. But that's it, you know. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.